Okay. Kind of put this way down here. So we're going to be using this part later where I log into Jerry's account and show you some of what the videos have been talking about. So I'm going to switch back to YouTube. And this is, how many of you have ever seen a video of Krista Cowan? This is what she looks.
I think we had one here once. We did.
Okay.
Last time.
Somebody, you guys showed one. Yes, you're right. I think we did. Okay, so as far as she is going to talk, I'm going to skip over the little first maybe 2 minutes. She's going to talk about inheritance first, meaning how we randomly inherit DNA from our parents and beyond, and then origins, which has to do with what regions of the world your DNA is from, and then regions. It's interesting that she says where your DNA was 500 to 1,000 years ago is what regions is all about. That's an amazing thought, isn't it? And then journeys, within regions, she talks about journeys, and she talks about that journeys is about the family tree matches and the locations of your DNA over the last 300 years, so more recent. And then she talks about the DNA kit and giving a sample and getting results back, which we'll see how many people are interested in that, because some of you have already done it and others of you may or may not want to. I'm not convinced yet that I need to, but I got more interested in it doing this, watching her talk about it. So I'm gonna try to click. So let's get her going.
Ancestry DNA 101 class. So this is a getting started, getting to know basic DNA, how it works, what you get with your results. So if you have a more advanced question, there are lots of places that you can go to ask those. Ancestry does have a Facebook page.
I'm gonna just
things, and then we're going to talk about your matches. Okay.
Okay, so
things, and then we're going to talk about your matches. Okay, so inheritance, origins, including regions and journeys, the settings in your DNA kit, and matches. So those are the things that we are going to talk about today. Okay, I think we're all in. You're all telling me where you're from, and it's taken the test. It looks like most of you have taken the test. A few of you have not taken the test. So if you have not taken the test, let me just, for those of you who haven't, let me just give you a little bit of information about what you need to know. Let me introduce myself first, now that we're all in the room and getting to know each other. I'm Krista Cowan. I'm the corporate genealogist here at Ancestry. Some of you may know me as the Barefoot Genealogist. That's the name of my YouTube series on the Ancestry YouTube channel. So I have, over the last decade, more than a decade, become an expert in genetic genealogy. So using Ancestry DNA to make family history discoveries. And so I'm particularly positioned to teach this class and excited to talk to you about family history. So for the few of you, it looks like, who have not taken an Ancestry DNA test, there are, you order the test online, so you just go to ancestry.com and you can order a DNA test. When you order the test, it's going to give you the opportunity to spit in a tube. Super gross, but that's how it works. So it only is about 1/4 of a teaspoon of saliva. You don't want to eat or drink or smoke anything for about an hour. It says 20 minutes, but I like to give it an hour before you take the test. If you want to get really fancy, you can take your cheeks and just kind of rub them against your gums and let the saliva pool in the bottom of your mouth, and then provide the sample. Okay, so super simple. There's a blue solution, it's a preservation solution. You're gonna screw that cap onto the tube after you put the saliva sample into it. Then you're gonna shake it up, and that's gonna preserve that DNA in that tube. Then you're just gonna follow the activation instructions on the card that's provided, on the box that's provided, and then mail that back in the return mailer that is also provided. That's going to get sent off to a lab with an anonymous number on it. The lab is going to process your DNA sample. That can take anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. So just be prepared that there's a little bit of a waiting period. You provide enough of a sample for us to test it multiple times in case there's any problems along the way. And we make 3 attempts. And when your results are ready, we deliver them to your Ancestry account. Now, if you've never had an Ancestry account before, you don't have a tree, you've never taken a test, the process of activating your test creates a free registered guest account. And that's going to allow you to log into Ancestry and view your DNA results. Okay, so we'll get into what the results look like in just a minute, but I'm going to share my screen again. Emily, I'm not sure why your face is showing up on my screen.
We'll go ahead just a teeny bit.
DNA inheritance.
Does anyone remember how to get rid of this?
Talk about
Is it in the dots
DNA
anymore?
inheritance.
By any chance?
Get rid of-
Well, I tried hide video panel, but it didn't hide that.
Super fascinating to me. Again, I'm not a science and math person, but when I started getting into DNA, there were just some basic science facts I needed to understand.
And so
Here are the basic science facts you need to understand in order to start to wrap your brain around DNA. Every person, male or female, inherits 50% of their DNA from their dad and 50% of their DNA from their mom, okay? And that is true universally, okay, among humans. 50% of dad's DNA, 50% of mom's DNA. But you do not inherit a 50-50 split of all of their DNA. You inherit a random 50% of their DNA. You'll see why that's important in just a minute. So, your DNA has a ton of information. As a matter of fact, Ancestry tests around 700,000 places on your DNA. So you have 22 pairs of autosomal chromosomes. In those pairs, you got one half, one from mom, one from dad, and Ancestry looks at 700,000 locations on those 22 chromosomes. But we're going to use a really strict down simplified example or analogy to help you understand this concept of random inheritance. Okay? So, I scroll down. We are going to imagine that we have someone whose DNA is spelled out and it makes the name Andrew. We made it 6 letters, so we very easily pass on 50% of them. Okay? So with someone whose DNA name is Andrew, and he and his wife Sandra have some children. Now remember, he can only pass half of his DNA on to his child, and Sandra can only pass half of her DNA on to her child. So this couple is going to have a child. They're each going to pass on 50% of their DNA. That DNA is going to get recombined, and his name is going to be Edward. So do we see how that happens?
That's cool.
Half of Andrew's DNA, half of Sandra's DNA. This child's name then is Edward. Now we're going to have another couple here, Graham and Elaine. And Graham and Elaine are going to have a child. Again, half of their DNA is going to get passed on, and that child is going to become Angela. Okay, still with me? Now, Edward and Angela are going to get married, and they're going to have children of their own. Now, they're going to have 3 children, and each time they have a child, 50% of their DNA is going to get passed on to the child. But, and this is the important part, it is a random 50% every time. So one child is going to be named Glenda, and one child is gonna be named Reagan, and one child is gonna be named Gerald. Do we see how that happens? So the first lesson of DNA is everybody inherits 50% of their DNA from dad, 50% of their DNA from mom. But it is a random 50%. And every time a new child is born to that couple, it is another random 50%. So unless you are an identical twin, you and your siblings will not have identical DNA. Your DNA will look similar. We can tell you are the child of these parents because you have half their DNA. We can tell these people are siblings. So let's look at this a little bit closer. All three of these children inherited a G from mom. So they have that in common. All three of these children inherited an A from dad. So they have that in common. Two of these children inherited an N from mom. Two of these children inherited an R from dad, right? So there's overlap, but it is not identical unless you are identical twins. So what does that mean for you when you are thinking about taking an ancestry DNA test or looking at your ancestry DNA results? What it means is that unless Edward and Angela are both available to test, that if you test, you are only representing 50% of your parents' DNA. But if you have siblings who can test, you'll get more of your parents' DNA represented by testing your siblings. Now, if Edward and Angela are both available to test them. As a matter of fact, if Graham and Elaine up here are available to test, or Andrew and Sandra are available to test them, right? We always want to test the oldest living generation. I had the opportunity before, I had one living grandparent when DNA testing came out, and I tested her at her 90th birthday party, and she was confused a little bit about what I possibly thought DNA was going to tell me, but she was tickled that I was interested in her family history and learning more about her. And so she provided the sample willingly so that we could get her tested. And I'm so glad that we did, because my dad only got half of her DNA. And I only got a random half of my dad's DNA, which means I only got about a quarter of my grandmother's DNA in me, if I was the only one who tested. But because I was able to test her, I was able to have more DNA represented. Now, my grandfather had already passed. And so I have 100% of her DNA because she tested, but I have none of my grandfather's DNA. So I tested my dad. My dad has 50% of his dad's DNA. So we tested my dad's siblings, and now we have most of my grandfather's DNA represented. Now, there's another couple of interesting things when you start to look at this way. For example, right, we talked about how some things get passed down generation after generation after generation, but there are some things that get lost. For example, you see how Andrew has this N and this W, and Sandra has this S, and Graham has an H and an M, and Elaine has an I, right? Like they have these little pieces of DNA, and in some cases, they passed some of those things down. Edward got the W, but he didn't get the N, he didn't get his mom's S, right? And then in the next generation, Edward did not pass that W on to any of his children. So that W is now completely lost in that branch of the family tree. Now, it's totally possible Andrew and Sandra had another child, the W got passed on to that child passed it on to his children. So it may exist in a first cousin or a second cousin, but it's not going to exist in this branch of the family tree. So again, start thinking about what that means for you and your DNA results. I will tell you, there's a little math problem here for those of you who are math nerds, like I am becoming, and like my dad totally is. It is that if you have one child, they get 50% of your DNA. Your second child also gets 50% of your DNA, but when you look at the DNA of those two children together, it makes up about 75% of your DNA. A third child gets 50% of your DNA, but when you look at all three of those children together, it's going to be about 87 or 88% of your DNA. When you have a
Sorry.
fourth child, they get 50% of your DNA, but when you look at them all in totality, they're going to have about 93% of your DNA. When you have a fifth child, right? So the more children that a couple has, and 5 to 6 is about the spot mathematically where you have almost 100% of a couple's DNA represented. But if you have multiple siblings, you want to test as many of them as possible and as many as are willing in order to represent the full scope of your grandparent or your parents' DNA. Now, think about your grandparents. Your grandparents are not available for testing. Who else might have inherited that W? Is it an uncle? Is it a first cousin? Is it grandpa's brother? Right? So who else in the family could test in order to show this complete DNA for a particular generation? So I hope that that makes sense. Again, that kind of random inheritance of DNA. DNA is a lot more complex than just 6 letters. I mentioned that we look at 700,000 locations across all of your autosomal chromosomes, so chromosomes 1 through 22. And that then is going to, the random combination of 700,000 provides obviously a lot more combinations. So think about not just who you have tested. If you've tested and look at your match list and see who else in your family has tested, think really intentionally about who else could test, that when you look at your results in combination, that you can get more results or more information available. So that is random inheritance of DNA. Before I move on to show you my results, I'm just going to take a quick peek at the Q&A and just see if there's anything I can answer. Okay. The link for that, let me just pull this up again. The link for that, let me put it in the chat. And that way, if you want the link, you can grab it and go look at this for yourself. You can also show it to your family members so you can explain to them why you might need them to help test. Okay. Let's see. Recessive genes. So Roseanne's asking about recessive genes. Dominant and recessive genes do not play into the conversation about autosomal DNA for family history. So we don't spend a lot of time talking about that. Christine's asking, can you get DNA from, in this case, so someone's ashes or hair or artifacts, right? Currently, DNA can only be collected for ancestry DNA purposes from a living person who provides their own sample. And we need them, all adults have to activate their own test. So we need them to provide informed consent for the testing process and the results process. If you have a minor child and you are the parent or legal guardian, you can test them, but all adults have to agree to test themselves. And so you need to be really specific about that when you're talking to people. They're going to have to test, they're going to have to activate their own kit. Now, we will talk in just a minute about how they can share those results with you if they want, so that you can manage the test for them, but they would need to activate the test for themselves. Okay, and then I found another question I wanted to answer. You guys are asking questions fast and furious. I love it. We do have some fabulous team members from our member services who are going to answer some of these questions just in one-off, but okay, so a couple of people have asked questions around, like, if I'm an only child, what is it going to show me? Well, it's still going to show you any second or third or fourth or fifth cousins who have DNA tested. You're still going to be matched to people. I've been doing this for for over 12 years now, and I have looked at thousands of DNA results, And I can honestly say I have never heard of one instance where somebody got 0 matches. Doesn't matter where in the world you're from, everybody gets matches. And really, it's another math problem. I geek out about this stuff. So I love the math of it. Think about it this way. You have 2 parents and 4 grandparents and 8 greats and 16 great greats and 32 great great greats, 64 4 times great, 128 5 times great. Okay. So by the time you get back to your 5 times great grandparents, for most of us, we're looking at about mid 1700s or so. Now, what if you were to take all of those people? That's a super easy math problem too. You just double it with each generation. But what if you were to take those 128 5 times great grandparents and start to trace all of their descendants? Who were their children and grandchildren and great grandchildren? So if you came down to your generation on all through every one of their children, those people would be your 6th cousins. And I suspect that most of us have tens of thousands of 6th cousins. Now, you're not going to share DNA with all of them, because remember the W, right? It comes down in some branches of the tree and not in others. And so by the time you get to about 3rd cousins, you can have 4th and 5th and 6th cousins that you just don't share any DNA with. But there are tens of thousands of them, and you are going to share DNA with some of them. So the whole idea behind DNA matching, which we'll talk about here in just a minute in a little bit more detail, is you will receive matches. But if you're an only child, who else can you ask to test? Do you have any living aunts or uncles? Do you have any living first cousins on either side of your family tree? Okay, so kind of start to think through some of that. Okay, let's talk about your origins. So when you take the DNA test and you get your results back, one of the first things that people want to look at is their origins. And origins are showing you where in the world your DNA has been. So you're going to see a breakdown of regions. And those regions are going to have a percentage next to them. And so what that's telling me is that my DNA, 60% of it matches people from this region. And 16% of it matches people from this region, and so on, okay? Now, here's how Ancestry gets those regions. We have a team of amazing scientists, population geneticists, and all sorts of people who are really good at making sure that they understand migrations of people over time and understand what that DNA looks like. So they have spent years and done research studies and collected research studies that have been done elsewhere and created a reference panel. So it's a population of people that represent these different regions in the world. When we started 12 years ago, that reference panel wasn't very big. Every year, as more studies are done, as more data becomes available, that reference panel grows. And as that reference panel grows, then your DNA doesn't change, but your regions might adjust a little bit. Now, most people, nobody that I know, is going to go from being European and part African to being part Asian, right? So when you look at a broad level, that continentally, those regions are going to be pretty consistent. But within a particular continent, you might see shifting, sometimes big shifting. So here's an analogy that I've been kicking around to help people understand this. If you were a blue dot, and the only thing we had to compare you to was a green dot and a red dot, what do you think we would tell you looked more like? Probably the green dot, because that's all we had to compare you against. But now let's say we throw in a shade of turquoise and a yellow, and we grow that reference panel, and now we're looking at you and we're saying, oh, well, you know what? You look a little bit like the green dot, but you also look a little bit like the turquoise dot. And then we start to throw in different shades of blue. And now we have to decide which of those shades of blue you look like in what percentages. So again, it's not that you change, your DNA stays the same, but as that reference panel grows and we're comparing you to that reference population, we can get a little bit more granular, a little bit more precise about exactly what your DNA looks like. So this does change. As a matter of fact, we just updated the Ancestry DNA regions a couple of weeks ago. And so it's important to know that as your regions change, your DNA is not changing, our reference panel is just growing. It also means that our science team is getting better and better at understanding exactly how to compare you to that reference population and how.
Yeah, I'm gonna pause it here for a second and fast forward a little bit, depending on you and what you want. So after this, she talks about the settings in the DNA kit and how to use the DNA kit, which you'll get all that information if you send away for one. So I'm not gonna spend time on that. But do any of you have possibly indigenous people in your family tree?
I got 1% came from Africa, Senegal.
Oh,
Somebody didn't say something.
you're as quiet as can be. Somebody else had a hand? Yes,
Navajo Indian.
pardon?
Navajo Indian.
Navajo. Mhm. Native American could very easily be in our, in some of our DNA. So I'm gonna skip over to, about, I don't know if I can though, with this thing in the way. I wanna go,
Like last week, got the update and it changed my percentages, but she was saying the more people that go into it, the more they can really find and narrow down. And my, the Senegal is still there. So, and it's on my dad's side, which makes me laugh because he was such a biased racist man. I bet he's laughing and meeting his grandpa somewhere.
so it was there before and it's still
It's
there
still
now.
there now.
Yeah,
But it
Interesting.
doubled, almost doubled, well, it almost doubled my German. So
Woo.
they're narrowing in on something, took off from, some of the others, took down my Wales and my England and shifted all the different German.
that is interesting. You've done,
So I didn't have to submit a new DNA.
right.
They just wrote me and said, hey, you're getting better at this. So.
So that's a good point.
Yes,
Yeah. Once you do it once, you're gonna get information periodically
Email from them.
from a larger and larger pool, and that's really good. Okay, so right about here, she talks about journeys in terms of, if you can see this map here about her mom's family settled in Tennessee area, and she knew that already. And so when the DNA came back with, here's a big chunk in the upper South, and then here's another chunk in Utah, she knew, oh, this is dad, this is mom, just because of family information. But she talks about in the video about the migrations and how you can find out about that if you click the Journeys tab in the Ancestry. But I'm gonna just see what she has to say about indigenous here for a second.
Show up. So I've seen several questions here about particularly Indigenous American. So Ancestry has one of the largest populations of Indigenous Americans in our reference panel. So if you have Indigenous DNA, it will show up in your results. We can't break it down by tribe, that's not how that works, but we used to just show Indigenous American, like North and South, covering the whole thing. But then as that reference panel has grown over time, we were able to then split it out into North and South America, and then North and Central and South America, and then, like kind of the Inuit people and some of the Canadian First Nations people. And so now we've got multiple regions that account for Indigenous Americans across all of North and South America. So if you have Indigenous DNA, it absolutely will show up in your DNA results. Two things to keep in mind. One, I'm not gonna call grandma a liar, but my grandma told us stories my whole life that her husband and his family were indigenous. Our whole lives we heard that. You look at my grandfather, you're like, oh, he looks indigenous. I can totally understand that. My mom took the DNA test, her sisters, her cousins, nobody is coming up with any indigenous DNA. I'm digging into the family tree. We did have a brick wall there. We thought maybe it was behind that brick wall. We've disproven that fact. Now, he lived in Indian Territory. He was born and raised in Northwest Arkansas. And they were around indigenous people a lot, and they lived on or near reservation lands, and different cousins married into the family that were indigenous, and so they kind of connected with this identity. And then, like a game of telephone, the story just gets morphed over time until all of a sudden, oh, grandpa was born in what was at the time called Indian Territory, to now grandpa is Native American. And it's just a game of telephone that happens in a lot of families. So for many of us, we take that DNA test and we realize, oh, I don't have any indigenous DNA. And then we start doing the family history research, we discover we don't really. Now, that's one scenario. The other scenario is your indigenous DNA could be the W. Remember, you only get half of your parents' DNA, and it's a random 50%, which means you're not going to inherit 50% of every one of their ethnicities. You're going to inherit a random 50% of their ethnicities. And if that indigenous ancestor is back 3, 4, 5 generations, and it was just one person, and they weren't even 100% indigenous, because the indigenous people here in North America have been intermixing with Europeans for 400 years, then it's possible that you just didn't inherit that piece of DNA from that one ancestor out of the 128 in that generation.
Okay, there's obviously a lot more. It's an hour long, this one, and I'm at 42 right now, and I skipped over a bunch. But I want to show you the other video that Jerry most recommended, called Making the Most of Your Match List, because it was also very interesting. And then you know that you can find this if you just Google in YouTube Ancestry DNA 101, you'll find this one. So let me see if I can.
So look to the cousins, see who else.
Okay, let's look for. Match list. And here she is again, and there it is. Okay.
Welcome everyone. I'm Christy Cowan. I'm the corporate genealogist. Okay, it looks like 97% of you so far have taken an ancestry DNA test, and that's fantastic. That is super helpful for me to understand who's here and how you're taking you've taken the test so that you have your results. Okay, so first up on our agenda is, what do you take a DNA test for? There are really 3 primary reasons why people take DNA tests. Now, Ancestry has been doing
This was interesting to me because that was my question all along. Why should I do this? But I didn't have a lot of questions about where my ancestors came from or who the first 4 or 5 generations were. So anyway, we'll see what she says.
DNA testing since 2012. So we're nearly 13 years into autosomal DNA testing. More than 25 million people have taken the Ancestry DNA test. And here's what we've discovered through all of those results, which is this, that there are 3 primary reasons why people take a DNA test. Now, I've been doing family history for most of my life, since I was about 12 years old. And my family's been very involved. We have a very big, very robust family tree. As a matter of fact, you're going to see parts of it here in just a minute. But when I took a DNA test, one of the questions that people kept asking me was, why are you taking a DNA test? You already know who your family is. Well, the number one reason that people take DNA tests is because they're looking to add what we call a layer of genetic evidence over the top of their family tree. Now we're to a point where we're incorporating that evidence very meaningful into those discoveries that we're continuing to make. But when I first took a test, my family tree was only as good as the research that we had done, as the records that we had found, as the family stories that we had heard. And a lot of people, like with low skill, when you're brand new, and we were all brand new at some point, we didn't know what we didn't know. And so we climbed family trees and may have accepted hints or copied stuff from other people that wasn't entirely accurate. And so by going back through my family tree with my DNA results now, I've been able to build up this genetic evidence generation by generation that I am in fact climbing my own family tree and not somebody else's because I took a wrong turn somewhere. So the number one reason people take ancestry DNA tests is for that layer of genetic evidence onto their family tree. The second reason that people take an ancestry DNA test is because they have unknown parentage. Either they were adopted and they're looking for biological parents, or they were raised by a single mother and they're looking for a biological father. Sometimes they're looking for a biological grandparent. So if you're looking for a biological parent or grandparent, that is what we call unknown parentage. And that is a reason that a lot of people take a DNA test, because they're trying to solve that particular biological mystery for themselves. So even people like me who have this very well-established family tree, I know who both of my parents are, I know who all four of my grandparents are. My DNA then becomes a piece of the puzzle to help them solve their particular DNA challenge, which is unknown parentage. And then the third reason that people take ancestry DNA tests is for what we call brick walls. So in genealogy, we call a brick wall when you've hit a dead end further back usually than your grandparent. You don't know who your great-grandfather was, or your great-great-grandmother immigrated from another country and maybe changed her name, and you're trying to figure out exactly like which family you connect to, or look for clues to what her name may have been. So that kind of brick wall concept. So those are the three reasons primarily that people take ancestry DNA tests, is to layer on genetic evidence onto their family tree, to identify their own or their parents' unknown parents, or to look for a genealogy brick wall and see what they can do to solve that. So I have another poll for you really quickly. And I just would like to know why you took the ancestry DNA test. So if you said you took it, and so this is multiple choice. So if you took it for multiple reasons, go ahead and let us know. But go ahead and.
So those of you that did take it, why did you take it?
It was recommended.
Mr. Merrill?
I know who my ancestors are. I've got the genealogy back on all sides, but for me, I wanted to see, because I knew it came back with percentage. And so family tree will tell you percentage, this many of your ancestors came from this area, but that may or may not be their original area. They just go on birth where they were born. And so to get the DNA piece of it, you get the ancestors that migrated from Estonia, but they were born in Denmark. So it tells me I'm from Denmark. And I go, no, I'm not. I wanted to know, beyond that, where did it go?
Right. So a lot more clear picture. Jenny, you said
It was recommended, and so I thought, I was curious, so yeah, that was basically why I took it.
recommended for people who are interested in family history?
Yes.
Okay, as a part of that? Okay, good. What were other reasons, if there were other
I
reasons?
just wanted to see how it spread. I knew a couple of the 3 of the countries that ancestors were from, and I wanted to know where else.
And you found out like a bigger picture, right?
Right,
You really are a map. That's what I decided.
right.
Yeah, when all these other countries came back, I went, what?
Anybody else have any other reasons that you took it? Okay. Those are interesting. Thanks for sharing. So, Let's see, how far are we here? We're at 8. I think we're gonna go up to, she talks about her match list at right about number 11. I was gonna try to go up to 18. That's 10 more minutes. That won't give me more than 3 minutes to show you Jerry's page, but I'll cut it off when we've got 5 minutes left and show you what Jerry's page looks like. So we'll just let her keep.
Click that and let me know why you took the Ancestry DNA test. For me, it was that layer of genetic evidence, but then also I have 2 very sticky brick walls that I'm trying to work through in my own family tree to figure that out. So if you've got that poll on your screen, go ahead and click that.
Let's see.
Acting that our family is exactly genetically who we. Acting that our family is exactly genetically who we think they are, only to discover that maybe our father or grandfather in some cases is not who we believed it to be. So yeah, lots of other reasons, and there's lots of emotion involved in that, and I just want to make sure that we acknowledge that. Okay, so let's talk about the DNA match list specifically, and I just want to give you a really solid foundation for understanding all the parts and pieces to that match list. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to just walk through my match list. Now, my top matches on my match list are all my immediate family members and some close family members. Share my screen. There we go. Okay. And so I just want to let you all know that they have given me permission to share this information. So I'm not sharing it out of turn or out of school. Let me just reset our tree, and then we're going to go to my match list. Okay. I've got the match list kind of a little larger than normal, just because I wanted to make sure everybody could see it. So this is my Ancestry DNA match list. And across the top here, you get here by going to your DNA menu and then going to matches. And across the top here, I can access my summary or my DNA homepage. I can access my origins, which is the ethnicity and the regions and the journeys that you're connected to. And then traits, of course, is over here. So from this page, I can access any of the parts of my DNA results. But today, specifically, we're going to stay focused on this matches tab. Just below that navigation bar is another navigation bar. This pertains specifically to your match list. So I am right now on the all portion. There is also by parent, by ancestor, and by location. So before we dive into the match list, we're going to go through each of these just briefly. So by parent, Ancestry has a technology that we've developed called side view. And side view allows us to look at your DNA and your DNA matches. And based on all of that information, we can tell like which side of your pair of chromosomes that these people match on. So every one of us have 23 pairs of chromosomes. In each pair, we got one from mom and one from dad. However, your DNA doesn't come labeled in your body, mom's side, dad's side. All we know is that there are 2 sides, hence side view. We're looking at the sides, a view of the sides of your DNA. And so when you first get your DNA results, those sides are just going to be labeled parent 1 and parent 2. Now there will also, if you keep scrolling down, be some matches that are labeled both sides. So that means that this person matches you through both your mom's side and your dad's side. Let me just alleviate some fears right off the bat. That does not mean necessarily that your parents are related to one another. The people that I match, about half of the people that I match here are my parents' children and grandchildren, right? Descendants of those 2 people are going to match me on both my mom's side and my dad's side. Sometimes it's because my mom matches their mom and my dad matches their dad. So again, different sides of our family trees just happen to converge in the match between the two of us. So some of you will have some both side matches. You can see I've got 53 of those. And then we do have a section for unassigned matches. Unassigned matches are people who the process just can't tell exactly which side it's on or which parent to assign it to. Some of those may get updated, once every year or so, but it just is because usually there's not enough information to tell genetically which side you connect through. Of course, you can see the largest number of matches, 14,763 of mine on parent 1, 27,175 on parent 2. In addition to showing you some information about some of my matches, it also shows me information about which parent has which regions and which parent has which journeys. So for some of you, you are going to be able to tell immediately which parent is parent 1 and which parent is parent 2. Now I'm going to answer this question before any of you ask it, which is this. Parent 1 is not always dad, and parent 2 is not always mom. For some of you, it may be the opposite. So all the system knows is we can tell this chromosome set is parent 1, and this chromosome set is parent 2. You have to decide which one is which. Now, in my case, I can tell very easily that parent 1 in my case is my dad, and parent 2 is my mom, because my parents have very different genetic profiles. Their families and what I already know about their family history means they're on opposite parts of the country and ultimately come from very different places in the world. And so that's easy for me to tell. For some of you, it may not be that simple. What you may need to do is go look at your matches and see, do you have maybe a first cousin on dad's side that's tested? Are they listed as parent 1 or parent 2? So as soon as you can figure it out, what you're going to want to do is edit the parent. And that's going to make it easier for you going forward. So in my case, I'm going to edit parent 1. Parent 1 for me is paternal, my father. And I'm going to confirm that. And now it updates parent 1 to be paternal and parent 2 to be maternal. So I'm the one who made that designation. If you're seeing that in your tree, it's because hopefully you're the one who made that designation. But if it needs to be, if you got it wrong, you need to switch it. You can just come in here to this by parent tab and click that edit parent. Okay, by ancestor, so the by parent and by ancestor tab, both of those are only going to be available to you if you have any level of ancestry, family history subscription, or our DNA Plus subscription. So you just have to have some subscription to Ancestry, and you will be able to access by parent, by ancestor. Everybody, whether you have a subscription or not, just by nature of taking an Ancestry DNA test, you will have access to your full match list. But these additional by parent, by ancestor tabs are only going to have populated information for you if you have a subscription. So by ancestor is what we call through lines. So through lines just take your family tree and basically turn it on its side so that you've got your parents. So there are my parents, and then all 4 of your grandparents, and then all 8 of your great grandparents. So if you have a subscription, if you have a family tree, and that family tree is public or private searchable and attached to your DNA results, if those 3 things are met, then you will have this by ancestor view. And basically what it does is we take your DNA matches, and any of them that we can figure out probably are descendants of this person, we put them into a group under that particular ancestor.
Okay, I'm gonna pause here because we have 5 more minutes and take you over to Jerry's page. So I went into family search, and then I'm gonna scroll down here and enter ancestry through family search. which is the way we do it as church members because we don't have to pay. And then she gave me her login. And she said, you just text me and I'll send you the code. So if it works, that I can get the code from her phone to get all the way into Ancestry, then that will be good. So she is jerry.grandma@gmail.com. She says she's still in the waiting room, so we're good. So I'm going to ask for a text message. One night, 1979 and 12. This is slick, huh? Talk about getting around the system. Oh, yay. Okay. Something new is coming soon. All right, so now we first go up here to DNA. Krista mentioned that. We click DNA and we go to I think it's your results summary. I was taking notes and I forgot to write down that part. Oh, but yeah, that it is. Your results summary is where you go. So here's her DNA report. And with some of the journeys, looks like almost the Middle East over there, but maybe not quite. And some of the matches, this is her daughter, her son, grandson, or nephew. And then she was just about to talk about through lines when I stopped the video, but there's that too. So she said to me that I should click the arrow next to Dennis's name to get hers to come up. And she wanted me to show you this one certain person, which I don't know. She's a relative named Riva. And then the letter Z is, I guess, maybe her initial of her last name. But those of you who have done this and know this section, do you know where I would go to find a certain specific person? Under matches, up here.
Is it one of the new ones or is it one of the many, many old ones?
Let's look at the new ones first. Just maybe I can search. Filter by journey. Don't know which journey that was. There was something about Riva that she thought was interesting. Origin summary. Let's go back to her. Well, here's some family. Let's see if Riva's on this list. This is looking kind of familiar. Don't see her, but there's more.
5 pages of them.
Yeah.
You have the name?
There's Daniel Ellsworth. Wonder if he's related to my husband. So where did you say to go?
Well, we've got 5 pages. If you're only looking at 20, make it look at 50, and then you only have a couple of pages to scroll through to find.
Got it. That's good. So keep your eye out for Riva. Here's Kayla. And but the problem is I didn't write down what I'm supposed to tell you about Reva, so maybe it won't matter too much. This is 2 of 2, that's it.
There is no Reba.
There's no Reva.
She died.
She left the group.
There is a search thing right there.
Yeah,
Put her name in the, you went and just go over to it, and put her search name.
okay, let's try that. I'll just start with Reva and see what I get. No results. I think the Z was. Oh, but then it was 37 was a number after her name. How do I click search again? Just enter, I guess. Okay, well, Reva disappeared. But that's a process that you would use to get into your ancestry page if you haven't done that before and start looking. And we need Jerry for the rest. So, and we're out of time. So any last comments or questions anybody has based on their own experience? Did this teach you some new things? A little bit? Okay, good. And like I said, you know where to go because I didn't show you the whole videos. And there's obviously a lot of other videos by Krista Cowan and by other people. So thank you for being here today. I honestly can't tell you, do you know, Steve, whether today's lesson was part of the technology section at the very end of Family Search, or whether it was the beginning of the new section, which is going to be Ancestry?
It's at the end. Like next week, they'll finish Family Search.
Okay.
Then we'll start Family Search.
And then we will
Ancestry.
spend a lot of this coming year, school year, on Ancestry. Yeah, which I have never really used except going to search for somebody once or twice with help. So good chance to learn. We'll see you next week at the same time and the same place. Did everybody get to sign the class roll? It's on the back. We'll see you again.
Yes, it is. That's my cousin in a family search class that I find my cousin.
First cousins.
My long lost cousin.
My father, mother's nephew.
Mothers are sisters. That is true. My mom's sister. Yeah, which is cool because my mom's not from around here. And we get twin
Every Tuesday.
No, I thought the rest of the family is still younger.
You have to get the older people to take the DNA test, and that's us.
That's us now, yes. My parents are gone. I was thinking that last night.
My uncle to do it because I want to find out where that Senegal guy is. And it's on my dad's side. Did you hear that, Scott?
That sounds so, that's so funny.
I'm excited.
Yeah, like you
Yeah.
said, your dad is so.
Oh,
You are
so
very
crazy.
nice.
I used to, I could tell you stories. Of what he said when we were kids.
Oh, yeah, I imagine.
The army did not do him any favors. Yeah, we learned.
Never does.
Yeah,
Yeah, it does. That does.
I don't think he
Oh.
ever met a black
It was
person.
really an exit.
You know, yeah, that was start, he got really.
You wanna
Mellow, and then,
click
your
on
dad.
stop share?
Yes, thank you. Stop share.
Ready to have some.
That's the only thing I was going on.
I appreciate that because I forget these things.
No,
My
it's,
dad with the little vice.
my
My,
goal is to come in here and to
He had
learn is
the.
if I can get this down without looking at this and have it set up when you girls come, it's.
it's huge. It's such a help. Today, it was a huge help. Because I'm by myself, and a lot of times one of us will, you know, get this on the right settings, and then the other one of us will get the roll out. And so it was a huge help.
Good.
I have to log in now and do the tracker.
Okay. But no, that's,
That's your job, and we're glad
I'm
you're
trying to
here.
be more comedy.
You're doing great.
Thank you, Emily.
Yes, thank you. See you next time. FAC@gmail.com. No, of course, it's,
Is there more classes and stuff for, for insurance like that?
Yes, every
sign
Tuesday.
in.
One of these young ladies, there's 4 of them,
Okay.
from 10:30 to 11:30. They will be talking about different things. Today was
So on every Tuesday?
every Tuesday.
Okay,
at
so
10:30.
I just couldn't.
And then once, they will have different classes at different times.
Okay.
I'm not in charge of classes, so.
Okay. That's okay, I was just kind of trying to find out the thing.
Yeah,
I mean, I know those, but I, since I got already, just got on my feet again, I'm trying to get back, you know, what it is.
but that's what it's about. I know very little about ancestry. I know how to get to it and how to find information.
Exactly.
I have no idea how to take that information and bring it to family search.
I know that, but I need more help.
You know more than me.
No, I don't know about that, I can play a little bit with it, but I just want to try to give my things up.
Yeah, and that's the whole idea. And they do it in a way that you get a chance. If you have a computer, bring your computer.
Right.
There we go.
And, so this is our state, Jamie, would you like that?
Yes, we cover 6 states.
Okay.
And I'm one of the assistant coordinators.
Okay.
So you'll see me here every Tuesday. And I try and help them so they don't have to think about what they're doing.
We don't have to deal with technology
Yeah,
either.
so we just sort of try and work together.
Mhm.
And on the other side, we have 16 computers. If you want to stay and work on their family lines,
You need to make one for them,
you just come and use it.
or is there a lot of, faith that they don't just work or two, or I ran into that cross like use of that never be got.
No. There are people with a lot of knowledge. If somebody doesn't know, then we're good at finding, oh, he would know, or she would know, or he would know. But we don't know everything and it changes so frequently.
Yeah, it's been a lot of changes in time.
So, but yeah, we invite everybody to come.
No one find out more about it, so.
And people will come, and some of them come in full names so they can take me to the temple.
I was doing that for quite a while until this happened. So I know how to do all that.
So they just come in,
Yes.
here we go.
Thank you.
I'm here for a few minutes, but then I'm gone again.
Well, I will see you then. Okay, well, thank you very much, sir. What was your name?
I'm Steve.
Steve McWay, yes. Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that.
They are good young ladies.
We're not young, but we're good. We're glad to have you.
You can't be any older than that, so.
I don't know about that.
I call everybody
Young lady, yeah, we like that.
Being called old.
Yeah, if I said that to my wife, ooh, exactly. So no, we can pull that one.
Well, I understand. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I'll be here for a while.
Okay.
Thank you.
Boy, there are 8 goals in here about different aspects of DNA in the family history guide lessons. We just covered basically the first one today, this introduction here. But I'm interested to see all this stuff. It teaches you how to select and take a test, learn about matching for your results. Yeah, there's tons.
There's so much you can do, but the question is, do you have the time?
Right. And have you written your family history, personal history yet? And
I've started.
that's where I feel like I need to spend my time, is getting my personal history and finishing my mom's and getting my dad's online in his memories, you know, because he wrote up a bunch.
I take pictures and then I will write about them.
That's really good.
And then there's questions on family search under. I can't remember, I'd have to look at it.
Okay, we're saved, we're good, we can log out up here. Family history guide.
Yeah, if we go to, go to free genealogy. Up here,
Up where?
one step over,
There?
yeah. up
Oh,
on- yeah.
okay.
And you see where it says get involved,
Yes,
just go down. And, impact opportunity, or go over to activities, maybe that's better.
okay.
And it says record my story.
Oh, yeah.
And you can sign in, you can,
Mm.
and there's.
And then you
other-
can just answer questions and start talking. Do you
Yeah.
do it audio?
Mhm. You can do audio or you can
Or you
type
can
it.
type it. Wow, that's so cool.
So I would just look at that when you're,
When
but
I'm,
once you sign in, there's more.
just go to activities and go to record my story. Wow.
Mhm.
And compare a face. I think Glenn taught us about compare a
Yeah.
face. Um,
And you'd have to, you get on there, you take a picture of you. And then it will compare everybody in
In
your
my
family.
tree?
Yeah.
that I have pictures for.
Mhm.
I don't have all the pictures
No,
put
but
in
it-
there yet,
But then it'll give you percentages. I think my dad, when I did one for me, my dad was 75%. That's where our faces. And then it just starts at the top and works back.
that is so interesting. That's what something that the grandkids would love to see,
Mhm.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do I get back to where I was? Oh, just do this probably. Yeah. Record your story, back up to there. Okay, I'll leave it at
And so,
this.
but that's what we try and do with the young kids. And we've been talking about how do we get the 8 to 11-year-olds interested in family history? That's something that I talked to missionaries about. I talked to the Olsons, and I said, we're brainstorming, but I would like your help in this, because people have asked me what we have here. And so that becomes my responsibility to start putting things together.
Yeah.
So,
I think that compare a face for 8 and 11-year-olds would be a dynamite place to start.
but a lot of the missionaries especially, because we don't want those young kids touching the computers.
That could be a problem. Yeah.
And I said, they don't have to have activities where they have to use the computers. That's what we're looking at.
Oh, got it.
So,
But whereas the teenagers have their own phones usually, and they can do it
Mhm.
on their phones and not
yes.
mess things up.
And
Yeah.
so I'm sitting here going, okay. But I'm trying to get Janice in here when Ancestry starts.
Now Janice is who?
Olson, she's one of the shift leaders.
Oh, and she's good with the ancestry. She knows about it.
No, she
She
doesn't.
needs to know.
She needs to know. I need to know more. And I want the missionaries here, the sisters, to come in
Yes.
here every week from 10:30 to 11:30.
Pretty soon, our chairs are all gonna be full. We'll have to add some more desks. We could bring another table up here. If we had to,
Yeah,
and
if
people could sit on the sides and,
Mhm. But if we get that way, then we'll do it.
yeah, that would be a nice problem to have, huh?
Yes,
Well, thank you so much, Steve, for your help. Boy,
thank you.
boy, it's nice to have the
Have
techie
it.
person here.
Well, you're not thinking about me. That's why I go to the missionaries and say, I set it up according to here. Please check and make sure I did it right.
I should have signed this black roll.
Yeah, there was 11
Oh, good. Yeah.
with you. Then I just have to remember to plug these back in so they're charged and ready to go. The microphone.
Microphone worked well and the recording worked well.
And I think just. And I will put it in on the form that we had 11 people here. And I'll say class for the Tuesday class, and then Jim knows exactly what it's about, and I keep this list and I give it to him. So he gets an idea of who the people are.
He's impressed that our first day back, we had so many,
Yes.
and we had so many new.
Mhm.
That's really
And
exciting.
let's see, it was Scott Hansen.
Was that the person you met at the end?
Yeah,
Is that what? I
and
didn't-
Wayne Jones. It was Wayne. He said he got a text or an email from his state. Cause we had all the state people here. The high council, the high councilman and the counselor over family history for a meeting here.
And you were teaching them all, you told them all about this class,
Mhm.
so. But now it's not even gonna be geared to family search where people normally would be, beginners would want to be.
Yeah.
Now we're moving on. Of course, it doesn't hurt to learn ancestry, you know.
No. We all need to learn ancestry because they work hand in hand.
Yeah.
I wanna know how we can. You're going to learn a lot. Yeah. Uh-oh, that is probably. Yes. One. I would like to talk to you about what you saw on campus. Both of you, and then start on training the brother. Luma, that's set up for you girls. You're going, what? He's got packets for everybody in here. That's what I wanna do. But some people say, oh, we don't, there's nothing to do here, and we can fix that. We can show you some things and let you work.
The face I was making? Yeah, when you're young. Yeah. One doesn't. My mom's to do. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Oh, my mom, or my dad last night about this chicken. Not there, not too much. Like, so I'll make music. People say a relationship should be 50-50. It's not 50-50, it's 100-100. You're stupid. Stupid. Do it. You're supposed to give your all, not half. Look like that. No. You really almost stepped on them. I passed by. So very convenient for the energy. So it's not a hotel, they'll trip over her. What's doing? They all do that. Yeah. And then I'm saying, first stay up, but in daytime, you go first and not. But at nighttime, she just sits there, you just trip over her leg. Oh. Yeah, because they feel lazy or something. Or they just want you to trip over them. Maybe like, ha ha ha. No, they feel very pleased and breaking the way. I don't know why they do that. Nice. If they want to come. Like they're trying to kill themselves. Yeah. Gonna sell some hungry. My friend said. They found me on Google. Yeah. Apparently. I had playlists. In my Google Music app that were public. For 2 years. So it's a picture of me. I have to put on there because it's the picture of my account. Cause it's from my Gmail, that Google Music has my account. It's, yeah, it's through my email, that I just account, and so it's the picture, my profile picture from the email. That's all mine. Well, because I didn't make my account private, I didn't know, like so then when you make an account, you have to look private when you edit it, you first make it. But sometimes I just make the playlist and add songs to it. And then didn't think, oh yeah, you have to make sure it's private. And so I have been on it for 2 years. It was on it for 2 years. It's on Google. But let's see if it's there. And if you just say Abby Fullman. And watch. See, look, there's me. Yeah, and I said, what the frick? I said, why do they allow that? Why do they allow me to be on YouTube? I mean, my list was public. It should have been public just to YouTube Music. So people could listen to anything, not to freaking Google. Should just been YouTube Music. Yeah. And I can't do anything to it. The picture is permanently up there. And you can visit it. You can visit it. It should be copyright. No results. Or feedback. How do I do that? With the 3 dots. Yeah. Well, that's just for me. That's not like the actual. You might be able to. Because if you do it, it's just gonna do it for your phone. It's not gonna do it for everyone. It looks, it's a copyright. It said, this may be subject to copyright anymore. Yeah, this is copyright. Freaking it. What is copyright? I don't know how to do it. It's the feedback. But it's not gonna be good for everything. You go remove all the.
You have to be signed in, and I always sign in with my church account. And then I'm trying to remember where everything is.
Probably not the top.
There's, I want to say it's solutions. Oh. Nope, it's not this one. And I went through this last week.
Mary told me, but I didn't write it down.
Oh. And I wrote it down because, because everything is discovery, not labs, not helper sign-in.
And I can't wait.
Guidance and learning. I think that's it. That tells you about taking names and how to get started there. But there's, I'm gonna have to pull out my notes. Come on. Yeah.
When is the next tech conference?
Not till next year.
Oh, I thought it was the new fall.
No, Campbell's and Colleen's, no.
Classes.
And I haven't seen this one.
22.
Yeah, there's 22 lessons here. And it'll take you through everything, but there's 10 lessons. I gotta pull out a phone.
Very, very scary.
See, this is the whole checklist here. It talks about everything. But that's not the one that I wanted. Following lessons.
Yeah, so I'd have to go in there and look for the dude. There's 15-minute credits that I'm supposed to.
Learning lesson. See, and this is different than what I have here. Didn't I write this? Okay, I'm going to get out of that. Now what does it? Okay, I don't want that. I don't want that. That's too many.
You think you're out?
That's okay. Gonna have to type it in and then back it so I can see. Org slash search.org slash EN field drops. Yes, IEM.
The very last one. This is quick start.
Well, that says article, oh, quick start. That's what I want. Now I have to figure out where I got this from. This has 10 lessons. That's what I, yes. See, and here's the table of contents. And it's very quick and And see, and then it'll give you all of these. Of what it's all about. So quick start learning.
What is it say after English? Field drops?
Yes.
Drops?
Mm-hmm. And I will try and find.
Field drops.
No, where did this come from? Okay. Research help. Okay, now let's see.
Maybe I can just feel it up. I can make them say, he's fine. Most of his stuff is not a public thing.
More. These are all things that
Is that?
family search support operations. Now I gotta figure out where that is.
That's all right, if I put this in, we'll bring it up.
But I want to be
Get it.
able to get to it quickly. And that's what activities, get involved. No, search. That's temple. So that's what I'm looking to find. Yes. These are lab experiments. These are fun to look at.
You need field. Instead of labs, no, at the very top, in your address. Just do English field ops.
It,
Trying to pick her up. Gonna go all days.
okay. Now I got it.
Alex, when we get to the place and then after we have house, I really like it. Then I really remember. This was your day, this. Well, I was hoping that you would ask Lacey when she practices today. If she, when she looks at you and gives you the thumbs up and does all that, but I don't know how much is really days. They also realize she only has 4 practices between each lesson. She doesn't practice on Saturday and Sunday and Monday's a lesson. So that also, the only way she's going to go and we'll go, that's fine, we'll just go what we can do during that. And this. What's going on? You know, the girl should be doing a lot of things to you. From me, he's so exposed to the chances, that's why I kept going to.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, I'll turn that on. Yeah. And just turn it off on your computer. All right, well, that was my name, and somebody's lazy, it seems like that's when we're looking at. Oh, I was saying that an old ring from the phone, and I guess that was missing the other ring, so I can wear it.
Not
Memories. Yeah, that's I looked. Big assumptions there, that we want to say something to her, then fix it.
No, it's not.
Maybe
That
not.
one,
Yeah, question board.
my camera.
Maybe that's around. Very cheap, but touch it.
Oh. Hey, this is the part that bugs me because I just had it. And now I can't find it again. Not to do this. It's not that, it's not that. Is it solutions? No. The site. Yeah, then see what gets started. No. Hey, girls, can I ask you a question? Yeah, you girls. Maybe you have an answer that I keep losing it. When Brother Bloomer, when he talked to you about this packet, did he tell you how to get there from the front?
Huh? Probably.
Do you remember?
Full address,
Oh, that's annoying.
but how do we get to it from the
It's,
homepage?
so I'm trying to figure out where from the front.
Like, what are you trying to look for though?
Yeah, get to it, because that's where the lessons are.
Get to just lessons in general, or what?
Yeah, the 10 lessons.
There's 10 lessons that he put on your packet.
He. Really fine.
Family search and
He said that there's a way to go through it, and I think you click.
that's what I'm asking.
Let me find my. There.
Family Search Center.
You're trying to get to the lessons that teach.
Yeah.
Yes,
You
Probably got something like that.
yes.
no.
Yeah. Okay.
Is this it?
At the very bottom is
No.
the address.
The one with the.
It's on the,
Oh, yeah. Here's that one.
but that he,
That's supposed to show you how to get there by clicking buttons, right?
yes.
I think I'm looking the same one you are, and it's just what the lessons are.
Because I swear he handed me a paper. Yeah. Maybe I misplaced it, but I remember he handed me a paper that had instructions of where to go. Like,
And he,
This one says all the lessons, but doesn't say how to get there.
okay. Well, I'm gonna have to keep playing with this.
Hey, you know, there's another way to find this out.
Yes,
Just all a different place.
cause I've got the checklist here. I printed those off.
Well, remember he showed me? He
Is that-
showed me how to get there. And now I can't remember, because he showed me on the computer how to get there, and now I can't remember how to get there.
And that's what I'm trying to,
Is he not here anymore? Maybe?
he left.
Oh. Wait,
Isn't this fun? It's a learning thing for all of us.
remember, like something at the very top, if you went through.
Oh, okay, let's see, question. And then go to help and learning. And then go to Temple and Family History Consultant. And then you go to Family Search Help. And there you are. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, I know what's something at the top.
You
You
discovered
got-
that. Just gonna find it.
That's what,
How to do it? No, I was asking how to find something that who I'm working with.
I couldn't get to those 10 lessons. You can go through to
When you go through all the lessons, you just
work on the family search. At that center. Yeah, I had the full address, I just, I take your right.
Okay,
I appreciate it, thanks. Bye. Okay, what do I do?
okay, we're going to go to question mark.
Exactly. I think.
Okay,
Then we go to help and learning. And then we go to Temple and Family History Consultant.
Maybe I'm so kind of here. Bye-bye.
And then Family Search Help and Learning Resources. And we click on that. That brings us to here. And the lessons. See, and there's all the lessons. And then I'm just going to click on lesson 1, purpose of family tree, just to show you what it is. And it talks about everything here and gives you church members' remarks. But it just tells you basically what family search is, family history.
this video that someone else as well. Wasn't here, but I just saw this. That's question number 1.
Okay. See, and that's the short version of what family history is. So that's the purpose. And then the next part will be like create the account creating an account for a child using Google and Facebook. Yeah, because signing in, when you create an account for a child, most of the time, the young kids, you have to have permission from the parents. When you use Google, you use your Google account and sign in through there, or some people use Facebook and sign in. And so those.
You do any of that versus just, search.
Mhm.
Now, why would you choose the other ones?
Because some people, we had one person come in, was it last week? And she says, I don't have a Facebook, I have an account, but I have it through Google. And she didn't know how to do it. So if I click on Google, and it will talk to you about it. They always give these signs. And so the only thing Google knows is that you used your Google name and password to sign in. Nothing else does not. And it says, enter your Google username and password and click login. And it'll ask you to allow information, yes. And it just keeps going. And so it shows you how to do it. So those are things that we want everybody to know. And girls, I'm going to be doing this with you. When you do this, I'm going to be doing it. So if there's questions, then I can help and we can all learn together. Does that make sense?
Yep. But my next question is my grandmother. I've always known her as Grace Darling.
Okay.
But there was a question whether her middle name was really Darling. So I went and looked at all of her sources. Blessing, baptism, all of the records up to their marriage are just Grace. A marriage is the only record on that has Grace Darling, and then no names after. So because of that, everyone's thinking these two people, they just need to be combined.
Yes.
So there are ways that I can put both names.
I'm just saying how it says.
I would do this. I would go to your grandparents.
That's not what.
I mean,
In that search.
yeah, I'd go to family search and pull up her name and find her parents. And what's her dad's last name? That would be her.
Right, it would be Grace Beck,
That's it.
but everyone's always called her Grace Darling Beck, and everyone has named their children after her, saying Grace Darling.
Okay.
Now, her great grandmother's name is Grace Darling, but
Okay.
not.
But her last name was Beth. And so. That's her name.
Right.
So that's the name that should be on her.
See what?
stuff.
Yeah, see right here, it says Grace Darling, well, I meant Darling is a middle name,
Oh,
Grace
Okay.
Darling Beck, that's her.
Once it says, you stated that there's no copy on.
But if I go into these sources, the only place this name shows up is on her marriage certificate, but not on anything else.
okay, because Beck is her married name.
No, that's her name.
That's her name, okay.
Yeah, so isn't there a place up here that I can put also known as, or seems like I saw some. It is a touchscreen.
And so you can title your notes, you can make comment. And
And
that
where does it show up on,
it would show up here.
under other information? But not up here. I thought I saw one that said that, which is the reason that I even thought it was a possibility.
See, there's the history of.
I don't know. Whoever wrote this is generated by.
Yes, and you can change it, you can edit it. and
But I don't wanna change it, I just wanna make sure that's what it says. I just thought I saw that you could put or another name to this side.
Yes, you can do it when you edit. If we do details, and then you click on the,
The image that she took.
and now you're editing,
Video, image, or recording of you without your permission, and you feel like.
and it says please review. Okay.
And you wish to.
You've done that.
Still have that.
That I have
And it
on my
popped
old
out all those
iPhone
contributors.
and on
You don't
my, in that same. And on the.
But those are things you would have to do.
Oh, Rick, were you staying there for?
Like 5 seconds.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a question, see if you still remember, these are retired missionaries.
Every time. I'm sorry, we're all missionaries, but I get it.
He just got off this mission, but. Ask him the same question you just asked me.
In the name. Can you have, or they put another name over there, or also known as, and another name to the side of that?
Yeah, you can do that by adding, by going to the alternate names, so you just go down. Click other information. So there you can use add alternate name, then you can add.
But also known as,
So it is an also known as.
Yeah.
you see,
Yeah.
For content.
he comes here, he can't get away from us.
Yeah.
It's a good place to be, do you live there?
No, I live in Salem.
Well, it's not very far, it's okay.
Yeah.
We love to have you here.
Yeah.
He likes to come here, everybody was sad when his mission finished.
Yeah, I was sad too.
I know, I could tell. But you know, you're always welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So any questions for us? No. So we just be to go through them all, go through the steps. And let it show you different things. What they want things to be. And a lot of it you already know. So if you want to skip part of it. Have you, do you, use your phone on family search?
Sometimes, not very often.
Okay, so you know how to do that,
Mhm.
but the goal is, do you know how to teach it to somebody? How do you help somebody get there? Like you helped me get here. But that's the key, once you can teach other people, that tells everybody, you know what you're doing, and it tells you, you know what you're doing. So.
So are you using family history in your lessons?
Well, we don't do lessons. We don't like.
I mean,
teach
we
them.
go to people's.
We don't
Oh,
go to
no,
songs.
we're not cross
We're not cross-site.
We're service missionaries.
Yeah,
Working in the library. No.
no, we just would,
We work here at Bishop Storehouse and Temple and wherever they need to. Yeah.
well, just, we stay at those same sites every week.
Yeah.
So,
And that keeps you busy. Yeah. And that's,
very, very busy.
I served, my husband and I served a mission and we used family history a lot. We couldn't in our first mission because we're allowed to do that country, but it was a good opening tool to talk to people and show them how to. You know, we were MLS, member leadership missionaries. And so we didn't have a specific assignment set to just make him go find the numbers and leave out the numbers since they kind of got lost in the whole thing. And we'd go find them. That was a good tool to talk to them about this. But they got to going around to different, all of the good stuff. Yeah. No wonder you're trying to learn it all. Okay. All right, I'm good. I did what you told me to do.
Yeah.
Okay, what's my next best?
I'll be over when you pay. Or be like stuff.
Okay, good luck with your stuff.
Okay.
So.
Or we can go up into that application. You should have that application. They'll say, well, oh my gosh, this, that, like this, that, stuff. We should be training them to. I thought about that so many times. Yeah, I actually.
Where did you get a fill?
Wait, definitely too.
They're pointing in forum.
Yeah. There's one next to the sword or axe place. Throw axe.
Okay, I know that one is in one. So it's currently closed. Okay, we'll put that, yeah.
So we could basically go straight into the same.
And yeah, we can post that 10 p.m. Friday it's 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And Saturday it's 11 a.m. Sunday it's 11 a.m. Thursday it's still kind. So sometime. Yeah, and then actually no one looks at the protein. Well, it's 27 minutes late here. And then the website. Utah's only dedicated.
You smash it for each one.
Yeah, it's called Smash. Wait, so
Axe and smash.
we will want. So let's see. Ogden Forum. Coming soon, Smash Your Patrons. Okay. So now open its brand new location at the largest student facility in California with these.
This is the one I tried before this.
So date. The end of this month. Next month. Ooh, okay, we can find next month. I'm just trying to figure out the price. So let's see. Forum. I want to go down. And then let's say we chose the 12th of September, just like that.
Okay.
So let's say we go. Okay. Well, and let's say we go at. Let's say we go at 5:30. Let's say we go.
I go to 3 to 16.
You were going to just
Date smash.
I never did that. There's gonna work friend for me. Okay, so for 30 minutes. For $15. Oh, wait. No, wait. I want to change the after.
How much is this is before, and it lets me do 1%. That was before. My.
It says
record was
1.
before. And I think I still find it. Yeah. Okay, and put in a year. One to two.
Select your rental. But why would you put 0? I 0 even. Okay, so we want to do this short. 5.
Sticking on my hand, but then he's got a bunch of children.
They're gonna choose the duration being an hour. Maybe 30 minutes is enough.
So I'm going around my grandmother's records and Gray started that, by the way. And making sure that what she has, that everything she has is on here.
Okay. This is exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, this Peter, there's two Peters, so then there's that one right there. And one right here.
Put your info
They're
in.
both Peter Junior. I click on this one.
So it'd be 5 to 5.
I realize he doesn't have a spouse. No, so yes, so I went to his record and found out he has a daughter. Okay, so the question is, where, I'd like to find his wife. But when I clicked on the daughter,
Yeah. And if it's saying it's $30, but it's 15 per person, that makes sense. And that's better than, or if it's just $15 for one to do it, that's good.
yeah,
We'll stick with that.
she has another.
Okay, well.
So she has
Yeah.
another. Yeah, that's the Peter, but not the same one. They have this daughter, Colette is keeping. I went through that other Peter to get to here, but this is the first Peter that was in that list, not the second. Okay, I'm going to just. Oh, yeah, he'd be over here. X. There's the other Peter. They have one child. 78. He doesn't have a spouse. No. But on that other paper, it has her as a daughter. Well. Cause that Peter. So if I go back. This Peter was born in 1778. And the other one was 5 years earlier. 1773. And there's Peter Junior. So 78. Yeah, there's the two different Peters. But this Peter doesn't have him with his wife. But if I click on her name, it shows her that it says she has a mother and father. Okay, let's go back to her name now. Parents. But it's the 73 father, not the 78 father. Even though the one before that said her father was in 78. So this is where I am not good. When it taught my daughter can go down rabbit holes and she remembers everything and she can connect it all and she sees it clear. I do not. So you have to decide which one. I'm going to click on him. And they've got a note there for you. Wrong person. According to the book of Descending, which is George Michael Eller, who is the father of these guys. This should be Peter B. And the line is tracked back to George.
And this is the person who found it.
Okay.
So now you have to start making decisions.
Well, I need to know, I need to go back to the source, the book. But he is saying that there are two Peters, one just should have a B in his name,
Yes,
72 to 78. 72 to 73. My grandmother says that she believes there's just one Peter, not two, that was in 78.
okay,
She did not know the other Peter was there. So. the Peter. This Peter,
she said, she knew this Peter, not that one.
no, she knew this one, not this one. This is the one that's in Family Search that's not on her paper, which is why I went down the rabbit hole of finding out who is that Peter. Barbara's there, Mary's there, all the rest of these other children are on her paper, but that Peter is not. So that's why I clicked on him to find out who he is. And when I found out who he was, it said he has a child, but no spouse. No sources,
Mhm.
all those zeros bothered.
Yeah,
So then what did I do? I think I went over to. What's our others, our ancestry. I like jigsaw puzzles, so I need 3 to 5 cards with all the information, all over my board, all over the table before I can start meeting things up. So Peter L. down there, I don't know.
that could be the same person.
Well, 1778,
And where was
and he
he?
has different parents.
Okay,
This Peter,
okay,
but he was in 1778, which is when the one
where was he born? In the,
Maryland, the others are all in South Carolina. So this is not that Peter, but how do I get out of this? These are all different things, or these are all his records?
well, you got some for 1773 and some for.
Oh, their birth,
Mhm.
378. Peter Lynn, that's this,
Mhm.
but I don't know that this one is the one that's in Family Search. They have different parents, so obviously not.
But I'm gonna show you Delilah, says they have a chip,
Is that who this one's daughter is?
yes.
Why? Where was she born? North Carolina.
And that wouldn't show up on there.
And all these are all North Carolina people,
Mhm.
but this name that you and I were just looking at is in Maryland. But he died in North Carolina. Which kind of makes me think he should not have been connected to that.
I see he's got a spouse and his. What's interesting, his father is the same person. They have
Oh.
the same name,
As,
the father has the same, yes,
right, but we don't know who this, but we don't know anything about.
but they got it from this. Family tree.
I just think he shouldn't be part of his family.
then
This one. He shouldn't be part of this group.
okay, then click on the,
If this Peter is the same, the other one, they have different parents. Is that what I'm supposed to, is that what you want me to do?
yeah. Is that the same?
No.
Okay, so,
But it is Elizabeth Dick, yeah, it is. That's the same mother that's on this page, but
okay,
not the same father. Yes, it is the same father. So he does belong in this family.
okay,
The problem is, in family search, they don't have him with a wife until I click on the daughter, and the daughter, it shows the mother.
but you can add the spouse.
But why then is the daughter,
Uh-huh,
the daughter has parents. She has those people as her parents. Because they got her to the wrong one.
and so you get to change that.
Well, not till I know that it's true. I don't know that it's accurate. This is the other Peter,
Uh-huh,
where the Peter of 1773.
is different than the Peter of 1778.
If he was, if 1773.
So he was 9 years
1773.
older than his wife.
Yes, but how much older is he than his daughter? 18, 161 years. That's not possible. That's not even, yeah, right. She was born in 1812. He was born in 1773.
73.
That's 161 years difference,
So,
right?
mm-hmm,
It doesn't look like 117, 70.
it's 37 and 12. That'd be 49.
Yeah, so why is my subtraction? Oh, because 8 from, I did 7 from 8, not 8 from 7. So it's 8 from 17. Which would be 9.
Oh,
No, that's not right either. What am I doing there wrong? Oh, because 1812 subtract 1773. There's my problem. So he was 39.
okay,
Yeah, he was 39.
when she was born.
Yeah, and that's realistic. I can. Man, look at all these kids. Wish they numbered them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
I've
10,
seen
11.
them.
Oh, it says at the top, Lord.
And then her, Delilah had 10 kids.
The problem still is. If you go back to. His brother that they say was in 78. This is why I worry about what.
Okay,
That's that brother, that's the other brother.
Yeah.
This brother says he doesn't have a wife, but he has a daughter. But maybe he shouldn't have a daughter. Maybe the Delilah they're talking about. That one. is connected to him when it should have been just connected to. I'm not good at running places. See, she's there, but she shouldn't be there, I think. Well, that's the question. Should she be there? She's also with the other guy, so is that, are there two of them?
5 years apart.
Where?
Well, here's the parents, that's her grandparents,
No, these are her, oh, yeah, yeah.
and. So we got Peter there in 73, we got Peter here in 78.
So are there two Peters? There's two different things we're looking at, right? Okay, let me write down her numbers. Yeah. My daughter is sleeping this and I'm so bad. That's one of those things I think I might have an issue with being. Okay, where's the other one? Okay, this Peter also has that daughter. 2HXG with the same, that she has the same number. She can't have the same number with this Peter and that Peter. That means she's.
What I'm seeing, this is me talking, these two are the same person.
I think that you're right.
And so. Now you have to try and look at the sources.
There's 7 sources.
Okay. But that's what you want to look at.
Well, this is, which Peter, this is the younger 73 Peter.
So you want to look at the sources. And you can start looking at, they have marriages, and you can look at the census.
She was born in 1812, so 12, she's not going to be in that census.
But the spouse,
1830 she might be.
the spouse could be in there. But that's what I mean. You want to look at those.
I have to click here to see the original.
Yes.
Right. There's an error right there.
That's David.
And so they're not done by household.
It doesn't look like it. I don't see. Oh, they're just talking heads of families now.
So, but we, so this is the head of the family for Adam, but I don't have an Adam anymore.
Yeah.
So why did they use that as a source?
I don't know.
So people.
Okay. But they give you different things to look at.
So Peter Elliott, 17.
And when was he married?
It doesn't have to. I don't have a date. I don't know. One, got questions that just do this. So I just need to, so I just think both those Peters are the same person, because the child is attached to both of them,
Mhm.
but I don't have any proof, I just see what's wrong with the program. With the, you know, what they're saying.
So would it be, let me ask you this. Would it be more probable that instead of being 39, he was 34?
Well, sure. But then again, you remember how many children they had?
Yeah, 10.
No, they have more than, they have more than that one, they,
Oh, well, she had 10.
yeah,
His family was a family of 11.
mhm. And she is right there. 1784. There are children after her and before her, and those dates look realistic.
Yeah, these are the kids, that's his family.
But this is Mary Eller, no. Yeah, I was thinking it was, this is his family, 73. Man, these were on the same one.
Okay. Now click on Catherine. Let's see where she was going.
North Carolina.
And so that could be that whoever put
March. They're twins. These two are twins.
okay,
They have the same birthday, that's why they're
and
both.
when did he die? 1851. And they had the other one dying at 1851. November. And they. Edward, Maryland, British colonial America. And did they die in the same place?
So the question is, are there duplicates? I mean, where does it talk about possible duplicates? Right here. Why doesn't it have those two as possible duplicates?
I'm guessing because,
Because their birth dates are different years.
yes, they're 5 years apart. I want you to look at the death. Where are they both? Where
North
did they both die?
Carolina, 1851. Same place,
Same place.
same year.
So you have to. And you're thinking it's the same person, they had twins.
Well, he is a twin.
If he's a twin,
Both of these are the two twins. These are the twins.
if they're the twins, then this other one. If these are the twins, then this one could be wrong.
I just think that they're the same, they're the same person. They have the same child. I mean, the child is assigned to both of them.
And they have the same family. Same parents.
So without doing the original homework, I can combine them, but I haven't done the rabbit hole that says, where's your proof that they're the same person? I believe they're the same person. But I don't have that proof that they are. Their work's been done, so why am I worried about it? I mean, if the work's done,
Has their work been done?
yes, except he has not been sealed with his spouse because he doesn't have a spouse, but he has her as a daughter. He's been sealed to his spouse and they have her as a daughter.
Let me go bring Rose in.
See, although all his work has been done,
Okay, click on person.
and he has not been sealed to his spouse. Which is why I clicked on his name and found her as his
Okay.
daughter.
Click on person, and I'm gonna have you do something. Now, click on ordinances. None of this work has been done. They've been requested by,
But I thought blue meant it had been done.
no, that's a request. Gray means the work has been done.
Wait, I gotta go back, cause that is. Why is that? Let's see. It's in. What was his name? Eller. Family did they go to? I don't know which family we go to, but if I just pick one. Gray means it's been done,
Yes.
which is what I thought, and then blue is where that it needs to be done.
Yes, it's been requested.
No, green means it's been done.
Good, no, green means you can read.
Oh, it needs to be done, right, and there's the blue,
Uh-huh,
which means it needs to be done.
yes. Somebody had requested it.
Karen, I need to do your next. I go do an endowment and an initiatory. Okay. So what do you suggest? How do I prove that they're the same person or?
You're just gonna have to continue to look at.
The sources,
If you,
but look
yes,
how many sources are here.
no sources there,
This is the 78 one,
yes.
because there are no sources, because it's not him. He's the other dude.
He's the other one. Click on research help. Just,
We did that a minute ago, and
oh, no, that's, see, no sources.
that you and I looked at one. That was what? This guy,
We looked at the 1773.
and
The 1773 has been. 1778 has not. Let me see if Rose is.
ceding to parents ordinance is valid. The parents are not listed either because of privacy or because they want to match the parents listed in family tree. What? What in the world does that mean?
It means that somebody sealed them.
To whom? Because his parents are there. I know who his parents are.
How many parents did they try and seal them? See, this is the fun part. I brought him back.
Why you back the whiz? So they
Yes.
having. This has been rubber stamped. If it's been rubber stamped, she knows it was done, because only the temple can do this.
Mhm.
That's this one down here.
Okay,
This up here is just silliness. Okay, that isn't our problem.
no,
Our problem is. This Peter Eller. And this Peter Eller. I think they're the same person. If you click on either name, this child comes up. But he only has her as a child and no spouse, and he has all his kids. But how do I prove they're the same person? They died in the exact same date,
Mhm.
in the same location. They just have to.
Well, if they have a duplicate. Then go to research help. Okay. It would show up on there. Let's see this.
this is the older one.
And see, he only has one child and no spouse. Now that person, this girl. That woman also is under the name of the other father, of the other Peter.
Okay.
So who's this? Wait, what is that? What is this?
Someone,
Someone added another.
yeah,
But why is he down here? Cause he's up here.
Somebody added another person. So,
but they did that for spouse.
That doesn't make sense. I don't understand. Because she has two parents. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I get it. I thought I was looking at fathers.
yeah, so.
He's going to BYU to be a genealogist.
Good, 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 good. We need people like you to help us figure stuff out.
And I'm still gonna do family history with like during college and stuff. So I wanna do with this kind of stuff.
Well, good, but I'm glad you're, I need to write down when you're here. It's like, I find the problems, but I don't know how to solve them.
Okay. Well, I'm only here for today and next week, and then I start college in 2 weeks.
No,
So I won't be here. Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm kidding. So. What, I mean, can we do a match and merge thing?
Yeah.
Because the
Okay.
thing,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Let's do that. So let's merge him. This person. Those sources. Copy that ID. Then you can bring it to the tools. You'll merge by ID. Then it's. Will be,
okay, that's the guy that's correct.
yeah,
Oh, what's this?
this
Okay,
is the guy, this is the correct person, we're deleting.
no, the other way around.
No,
Oh,
This is the correct person.
yes,
yeah,
Yes.
we're gonna remove her because she is already in here.
Yep.
So. Remove. Finish merge. Now. Go to her,
And it's all accurate.
yeah,
But now it's gonna show.
now she only has one set of appearance.
So when I went to BYU, which would have been a long time ago, like
Mhm.
53 years ago. First class I took was family history,
Oh,
genealogy. And they wanted us to verify our first 4 generations.
oh,
And that was our assignment,
yeah,
so that we had to prove, even though we knew it all. I had all the information,
Mhm.
but they wanted me to go find all those things
to double check.
so that I would learn how to do it.
Oh.
So that I would know so that I knew what I was doing. That was my
Oh.
first assignment that I had to do. was to-
Oh, cool.
I know, I loved it. Okay, so that was a pretty big one, so this guy doesn't exist. So glad.
So you made. Before I brought him here, we had talked about him being the same person.
Yeah.
So, once you made that decision, then this step.
But that was the only logical explanation,
Mhm.
they just had the wrong birthday. They had
Yeah.
different years that they were born, and that was the only thing that
They
was.
could have just, that 3 could have been an 8.
Well, alrighty, I will come down with more questions and then I come back.
Okay.
Last week, my questions were really. Okay, no question is supposed to be silly, but they were, and he just said, we'll go out there and click on this. I was embarrassed, but. All right, thank you, sir, I forgot your name,
Jackson,
Jackson, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Good luck at BYU.
thanks.
Yes, I've got a granddaughter.
We told him he had to stay. When he was finished, he didn't.
Yeah.
Everybody says you gotta stay.
Well, in one of the conferences, they said, you have a question, ask your grandchildren. And that's what I have to do, because you guys have different brains than we do,
Yeah,
and you can figure. I don't do good. I get rattled, don't know how to fix it. But
Mm.
see, you just know how to do that. This is yours. And I know how to get to that now. So I will thank you, Jackson.
yeah,
So I will look
Thank
that
you.
over, or go through those. I'm having surgery in October, so I'm kind of out the month of October, but September I can do the learning.
Yeah, and you can do that at home.
Yeah.
And,
I can. I don't know if I'll be able to in October, but I can.
but that's the whole thing. You have the information.
And I know how to get there.
Yes, that was the big thing. So, I know I got here the first time, but
It also terrifies me to merge people, to change.
well, but those are decisions that you make.
I know, but the problem is I've seen other people make those decisions and they were wrong.
Right.
And it frustrates me. How dare you tell me that my aunt did not do her work when she did it when she was alive? I mean, they somehow, and I just thought, so that's why it worries me sometimes.
So you make an educated guess. Sometimes
I
that's
like
it.
it. I want it to be right.
I know, but with this situation. We looked at everything. He had the same parents, same daughter,
Same death date was the biggest one.
yes. Same
That to me
place.
was the big,
Yeah, you saw the death date and I was looking at the place and it's the same thing,
yeah.
so.
No, I think I'm good. I've got my other fan trees. I'll bring those in and show you what I did. I printed the fan tree out that you helped me figure out how to do the changing the generations. And I made little tiny boats and wagon trains and suns to show who came across the ocean, which ancestors came across the ocean, so which one came across the plains, and who were the convert members. Who was the convert, who was the original one that was joined the church.
See, and in my family, it's me.
In my family, we go back to Joseph Smith on most of the lines.
See. And I am.
It's a different challenge you have,
Mhm. And so,
so they're lucky to have you.
So we just sit here and we keep going and doing things. And tomorrow I will be in the temple subbing from 10 to 2:30. And then I will be here from 3 to 6.
Just tell me you're here. Tuesdays and
Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
you're here all 3 days. Okay.
Thursdays I'm here from 3 to 9.
Okay, I will keep figuring out my questions.
Yeah.
And as I solve the questions, that helps me learn.
That's why we sat here and we talked through this.
Figured. Yeah, but it took a young kid to figure out exactly what to do about it.
Well,
The merge.
I can show you how to merge them. That's not an issue. The issue was having it in your head that this is what needed.
Apple. Yeah.
And so having him come and say, oh, then we need to merge this, which was a,
Was kind of like the confirmation.
Confirmation.
There you go. That's the word.
that's what we are doing.
I love these screen shares, by the way. I think they're really fun.
And so this is, so he saw the same thing that we did.
You and I saw.
And so we went, okay, now we need to merge them. So he shows you how to merge. You will. That's what
I will continue to find the problems, and you also take those orange ones where it says not enough
about the
information
organization.
and look for the information. Is that another?
Yes, and sometimes I've done that with, I'm doing that with my ancestries right now. And some of them just went. Oh. Okay, where were they born? I had one that I went. She was born the same year where her parents were married in the. I mean, that was a no-brainer. There's her birthday, her birthplace. Okay, she's ready to have her work done.
Well, like I told you, my family is a mess. The tree's pretty much filled out, but even having said that, I still have found a few names that they miss.
Yeah.
And so I still have to go over,
And that's what we do.
yeah, and that's what we do. Thank you, kind sir.
You are welcome.
I'll be back. Okay, now look at the lesson. Well. Okay. Thank you.